So, okay, all right. So, mind blown, beginning to understand. This really kind of talks a bit more about the why. So, through the Hope Holistic Approach, which you addressed briefly there, to community care, we are addressing the right now needs with a first responder approach in problematic areas that directly affect the overall health of our communities and our society as a whole. So, the right now needs in a first responder approach. What do you mean by right now needs?
So let's use the example of Valor for Veterans. We have a veteran who's on the edge. They've got PTSD. It's a spiral downward because they lose their job or they can't hold a job because of the PTSD. They have mental health issues, so it's affecting their lives in more ways than one, and it just keeps compiling. So they have a bill come in they can't pay because they lost their job. Now their electric's going to be shut off, so forth and so on. So as a first responder approach, what does a first responder do? They get there, they assess the situation, find out what the needs are first, and address those, and then move them on to on to the next step. So same thing here is we have this triage focused fund to where we go in, we assess the situation, and we see what's needed first. So in this example, we could say the person needs the light bill turned on. Once the light's turned on, they're stabilized, and now we can get them into the next step. Maybe they have PTSD issues or alcohol issues, whatever the case may be. We move them through the process based on priority.
Okay, so you're triaging.
Absolutely.
And that's essentially what first responders do. They come in and triage life-threatening needs, critical needs, could be life-threatening, and then on through the least oppressive or least immediate needs, and then categorize them in how they should be managed or dealt with.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So we have the right now and the first responder approach. And again, here we talk about overall health of our communities and our society as a whole. I mean, it's just completely encompassing.
Yeah.
Whether we're talking a community and its society, whether we're talking a city, a state, a country, or society as in mankind. Mm-hmm. So there's really no limitation to how much this platform can grow and expand. And I think that's what the charities that are on board, myself and everyone else I've discussed this with, and you're going to begin to understand, there's no limit to where this can go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is a starting point for us. Just some of the criteria that we chose when we went through the nonprofits for vetting them for this process. We wanted something, a nonprofit, when we brought them to the table, it's because they had a situation that they've proven they're not so big that we can't help them, number one. They already have their protocols in place, and they've already grown so big, and they've got all the money in the bank account they need. And a lot of times these guys are mismanaging funds, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah, we're going to come to that in a minute.
We'll come to that in a minute. But really on the facet of creating a situation where these nonprofits can help in that triage type situation, we wanted a proven business model, number one. Even if they're locally based, we wanted something that they've proven already that they can take national. And that was really important for us. So they couldn't be so small that they were just starting up and didn't have something proven. But again,
Sure.
They couldn't be too big to where we couldn't actually help them in this model. And the triage fund approach, again, is something that each one of them had to fit into this model and be able to put numbers on the board, show the people in real time we're helping.